Hey gang, John Bacarella here with your Lake St. Clair Fishing Report, brought to you by Sportsmen's Direct. It is Thursday, June 30th, and we're going into a holiday weekend here, so I'm sure the lake's going to be pretty busy, and wanted to get this report out to you guys, even though it's kind of a midsummer report now and there isn't much new to report, but I know a lot of you folks kind of rely on me giving you these reports just for the basic stuff, so we'll give it a shot here. Water temperature at Belle Isle, 70 degrees. Mile Road's a lot warmer. I mean, summertime. So you're going to have warm water temps all over the place. Mayfly hatch is going like crazy, even though on land you may not see them because depending on what the wind direction is, like we've had offshore winds or parallel to shore winds the last few days, and so around us by the shop there really hasn't been many mayflies coming ashore, but out on the main lake there's been some major hatches of mayflies out there, and there was even some satellite imagery I saw a day or two ago that was showing, you know, you could see the mayflies on the satellite image. So that's how many we're hatching out there. So the hatch is going full blast out there right now and probably will for the next week or so for sure. Smallmouth bass fishing. Let's talk about smallies a little bit. There's already started to get some tournaments there, and the weights have been pretty fantastic. Mid to upper 20s, like up to 27 pounds I saw in one of the tournaments I think last weekend. So definitely healthy smallmouth fishery out there, lots of big fish, and amazingly enough, we are still getting reports of good catches of smallies even in relatively shallow water in like 10 feet, 11 feet of water, although I'm not going to say that that's the norm, but we did have some folks come in this morning and tell us that they got into them really well, and it was mixed bag. It was smallies and largemouths, and then just a little bit in tighter than that, which it was even more surprising, they got into walleyes. As soon as they got into the off-colored water, they stopped catching bass and started catching walleyes. So, you know, even with the warmer water temps, if the conditions are right, if the water clarity is right, if there's bait fish around, it's Lake St. Clair. So you really don't know. I mean, you can have these walleyes in still relatively tight. And I was talking with a friend, Mike Martin he fishes up on Saginaw Bay, and he was talking about all the shallow walleyes he's still getting up there. So, you know, it's really, like I said, it's about water clarity and food more than anything. They can definitely withstand 70-degree water. So let's talk a little bit about the muskie fishing out there now. Muskie fishing's going strong. Most of the guys going over on the Canadian side. I follow Captain Quintano a lot out there, Fins and Crins Charters, and I mean, they take some phenomenal pictures and they catch some amazing fish, like this monster tiger that they got out there this week. It was just a phenomenal fish, and he takes great pictures. So you'll see his shots a lot of times in my fishing reports, and also Jason's a good friend of mine as well. So, but for a lot of you guys, if you don't know about tiger muskies, and I'm sure if you're not a muskie fisherman, you may not realize it, but those tigers are a hybrid between a northern pike and a Great Lakes muskellunge, and they're generally sterile because they're a hybrid. So it's always one of those things. They're really a cool fish, but I've talked with a lot of people that are, you know, more in tune with the muskie fishery and everything, and sometimes seeing all these tigers out there kind of makes people a little nervous because they are a sterile fish, so that means that fish is not going to reproduce, and I guess you can get into a situation where you've got, you know, a tiger muskie trying to breed with a Great Lakes muskellunge, and it's going to be unsuccessful. So you know, if you get too many of them in the system, it can kind of actually cause problems. But since Lake St. Clair and our Great Lakes muskellunge, since it's such a at least for right now, it seems to be, you know, have a great deal of diversity, and these fish really move around, that it doesn't seem to be an issue. So it produces these amazing specimens of tiger muskie, and you still have all these other just, you know, normal Great Lakes muskellunge out there as well. So just kind of a unique fishery. We just keep seeing bigger and bigger tigers out there, and they're just really a cool fish. So just wanted to mention that just for those that really don't know that much about the muskies. But anyways, so we talked about smallies, kind of hedged on the walleye a little bit. Walleye right now, you really just need to get out and look for structure. If you're on the main lake, you're going to find fish out there by the channel. pretty much for the rest of the season, and then going up into the channels, North Channel, South Channel, Middle Channel, and then all the way up even north of the bridge now that we're getting to that time of the year, north of the bridge, like up in Port Huron Bridge, because I mean, this time of the year the water's starting to warm up and the fish just keep moving further and further up. Some of them will keep moving further and further up. Others are going to be homebodies and they're just going to hang. You're going to have fish that are going to stay in the main lake all year. You're going to have fish that are going to hang in some of these channels all year. You're going to have fish in the Detroit River all your local fish. As long as there's food, they're going to hang. They're not all going to move around. So that's another thing that the DNR is studying with a pretty wide telemetry program right now, where they're actually putting units in these fish that as they move around through Lake St. Clair and other parts of the Great Lakes, where they're actually tracking where these fish are going. So there's a lot of studies going on perch, on muskies, on walleye, on smallmouth bass, because they really have never done that before. They really don't know where all these different fish go, and if there's different select populations of these fish that maybe are more homebodies, or maybe there's rovers that constantly move. So anyways, there's a lot of that going on right now out there. There's a lot of studies being done to really further understand how these fish move around out there, especially on Lake St. Clair. So yeah, so the walleyes, hit those weed beds out there, guys. Hit those just on those flats off of the channel, dumping grounds, main lake on the Canadian side, Bell River hump. I mean, there's fish literally all over the lake. Just got to move around and find a pot of fish and then work them. Smallmouth bass is the same thing right now. There's fish anywhere from, like I said, in tight and 10 feet of water all the way out to the channel banks. I wouldn't say there's a lot of fish moving up for that cooler water yet, because the water temps out in the main lake still haven't gotten really warm to like push them up in the late summer like they do move up into like North Channel, South Channel, Middle Channel. But you're always going to have resident fish in those areas as well. So smallie fishing is really going to get going out there in the main lake. Drop shotting, tubes, swim baits, and with the mayflies, you can still have even a deep water, top water bite out there around some of these big mayfly slicks that are out there as well. Perch bite, I would be looking same deal. I don't want to sound like a broken record, but weeds, guys, and all those mayfly hatching areas. Out by that B marker should be going. Different pockets out there around the main channel, out by the St. Clair Light, out in front of the mile roads, some of those sailboat markers out there that are a couple of miles out. There's weed beds out there as well, those deeper water weed beds. And then you've still got some activity that's going to happen in close to shore with some of this mayfly action going on as well. Although those fish are going to be sometimes not in as big in numbers. There may be larger fish. They're going to be moving around a little bit in like wolf packs out there. Even these perch will do that too when they get into that bigger class, those 11, 12, 13-inch class fish. Sometimes they'll actually move around and they act more like smallmouth bass than they do like perch. They'll move around these little wolf packs, and you'll actually see them if you're really careful in the shallows along the lake this time of the year. Let's see, what else we're going to talk about. I think that's pretty much it. I mean, we're going into a holiday weekend. It's going to be kind of busy out there. Another reminder for anybody coming in from out of town, that Crocker boat launch is still closed, guys. So it's going to be closed for pretty much the rest of the season, hopefully open by the fall. So you got to launch at Metro Beach or at Harley Ensign or over at the Selfridge boat launch over there. Or potentially 9 Mile as well. I think that's still open down there too. But going to be a busy weekend. A lot of boats going to be out there, so everybody be careful out there as you're moving around, and hopefully we'll see you in the shop. Hey, if you like this video content and you want to get updated as soon as the next video is out there, hit that subscribe button and the little bell icon, and you'll get notified as soon as the next video is up.